I was able to participate in the Bible club that we did in Delaware County Housing Authority. When we were doing our closing, we asked if any of the girls wanted to pray, or any of the kids wanted to pray.
Our leader asked me to close in prayer.
And no one really raised their hand. So we encouraged, and one little girl stood up real shyly and said that she would.
There was this little bitty girl, and her name was Christina, and she was maybe like 7 years old.
And we said, okay, now fold your hands. And she didn't know how.
She came up there and kind of looked at me and looked at her hands and looked back at me.
And we quickly realized that this girl had never prayed before in her life. And it almost brought me to tears, knowing that this girl had never prayed. Then we found out she didn't know what a Bible was.
She gave me this really quizzical look, like, Bible? Huh? Well, what are you talking about? And I was like, have you ever seen a Bible? And she goes, well, you mean this?
She held up her worksheet. She held up her worksheet and she said, I have this Bible, will this work? And the idea that an 8-year-old has never seen the Bible or said a prayer just hit so hard in our minds. But the best thing was that night, one of my girls, she came up to me and said, we've got to get this girl a Bible.
I really pushed for just getting that one little girl a Bible, if not the entire group.
She rallied our group together and was able to get us to get Bibles for all of the kids at the VBS. And not only that,
I had everybody in the group write down their favorite verse and the address and why it was important to them, and we wrote them on Post-it notes, and then I made multiple copies and we stuck them in the Bibles, and certain people wrote little notes in the front of the Bibles to each of the kids to tell them why they were so special to them. And when we handed the Bibles to them, the look in some of these kids' eyes was just like they'd won $1 million. Another girl, her name was Selena, she said that she was gonna read the Bible front to back. She was gonna read it all. And then the other girl, Casey, she said that she was gonna ask her mom if they could start coming to Union Chapel on a weekly basis, and that she was gonna pick out her own favorite verse and add it to the Bible. And she was gonna write why it was important to her so she could show someone else. Down at the party in the parking lot, one of the little boys that was in our group, he showed up and he was with his mom, and his mom was telling us that ever since he went home yesterday, he hasn't stopped reading his Bible, that he's read all of the Post-it notes that we stuck in there, and that he's read all of the verses that we wrote about and asked his mom about them and why they were important to her and what they meant. And I suggested, well, you should go home tonight, Jacob, and you should find your own favorite verse and write your own Post-it note and stick it in there. And he goes, well, I'm definitely gonna do that.
And it was mind-blowing to see a kid step up, a student, a young adult, an awesome Christian step up and do that.
And it was a feeling that I will never have again.